Switching gears to more of entertainment stuff, gaming stuff, which of course is what my show was always supposed to be about, in addition to like the political and social stuff we talk about. As you guys saw, that Knights of the Old Republic Star Wars game was being remade. I don't know if it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive, but it was showcased at the PlayStation showcase, right? And there's an interesting person that was hired by BioWare to rewrite what would be Knights of the Old Republic. Sam Maggs. Now, you've probably seen Sam Maggs say a lot of dumb shit on the internet. But Sam Maggs has been deployed. But what this does is point out a lot of what I've said about, and I'm not saying this as like a Star Wars expert. No, this is specifically something that I want to speak about in people getting jobs that have no business having them in entertainment. This is why it's so important for us to come up with alternatives to basically create a parallel economy, because Star Wars, Marvel, DC, all these things, Doctor Who, everything, Star Trek, all these things you grew up on, these brands that, you know, should transcend generations, unfortunately are controlled by crackheads. But Sam Maggs, looking at this, as a big shout out to Data Racer, who covered this, and looking at some of the things that she has said and who she is. So she is about to be employed to rewrite this. And she's saying she's excited about, after all these years, she gets to make a BioWare game. This right here is someone asking her a question 2 years ago. And she says that Knights of the Old Republic isn't her favorite game. Isn't her favorite Star Wars game. She's said several things that are weird. The usual, hey, you don't like, I know you guys in the Star Wars community have been dealing with, you don't like Rey, you hate women, you hate all of this. Is all about the women and the support. Man, babies, toxic, that are bitching and moaning about this. She says that this is not her favorite game, and she got hired on as a writer. See, Star Wars has this very expansive universe because of that, the support that they've been able to get over the last decade and some change, or decades, excuse me, not decade and some change, decades. This transcends long. It was before I was even thought about being born. Some of y'all's parents got on this. That's how some of y'all got on into Star Wars stuff, because of your parents. So there's no shortage of writers, artists, developers that would be able to knock it out the park with these projects, that are hardcore fans of these projects, that understand this. So could you have found someone who that really loved Knights of the Old Republic to rewrite it if that's what you were actually wanting to do? Of course. That's not who got the job, though, because they don't hire people based on merit, guys. Y'all do understand. This is what I'm saying. The parallel economy stuff is just what we have to do, right? I know some of us see, stuff that's been created, about to be put out by way of these guys. You're like, all right, man, it might be decent. This is something that I'm going to be into. And then you get your hopes up, and then you get your hopes down, because they immediately have to come raining down, because it's nostalgia bait. You think that there's hope for these brands, and it's not. I hate to be that guy. I say this with Marvel and DC all the time. I expect it to be dead on arrival. That's my expectation, right? When Ta-Nehisi Coates get to write Black Panther and Captain America, despite never having any sort of evidence of him ever being a fan of comic books at all, well, that's what you get. Sam Maggs gets to write something that, it seems like she's more into like what social justice statement can be made using the Star Wars brand, as opposed to actually caring about any of this shit. She gets the job. Probably the least qualified for it, because they're not hiring based on qualifications. They're hiring based on checking fucking boxes, man. Maybe who you got information on too. But also, it ain't about merit. Meritocracy is dead to these guys. We're not dealing based on talent. These guys aren't hiring people based on talent. It's like, all right, you check a box. You look like this first. What are your social views? What are your social preferences? Okay, here, we'll bring you on. Who we'll bring you on. It ain't about how good you are. Because Star Wars, this is my opinion, and this is me saying this as a Star Wars normie. Because there are so many hardcore fans of Star Wars, there is no shortage of people that are stoked on this stuff that could do literally anything for you. It doesn't matter whether it be artwork, comic books, writing for your shows or anything. That's not to say that you can't hire people that maybe have a particular expertise that aren't as knowledgeable. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that for Star Wars, there's no reason to even do that because it's so vast in terms of its viewership and in terms of the people that support it. There's no excuse for it. So if they do something like this, it's something that they went out of their way to do it. They went out of their way to say, you know what, fuck all of those guys. We want to bring her on because she checks a box. And we're seeing it so much, and not just Star Wars. It's happening in brands really across entertainment. What we're going to have to do is create things. And I know they got the money, right? They got the brand, so they got the money. So a lot of the good stuff they're going to have control on. And I'm not telling you don't support. Look, do what you want. All I ask is 51%, as I always say. That's it. 51%. That ain't that much. It's 51%. You say, you know what? Look, I got 50. This is my, pie that I have of disposable income. I'm giving 51% to people that don't fucking hate me. That's it. That's it. If you can do more, do more. But that's all my expectation is, because that's all it takes, and then the tide will start shifting. But these alternatives are going to start popping up because you're seeing they're not hiring people that are going to. This is why a lot of this stuff seems mundane. It seems stale. It seems, you see characters pop up and none of them act like they're supposed to act because the writer had no idea what the fuck they were doing because they're not knowledgeable on this information. They're complete normies, but they also are. That's the worst normie. Everybody's a normie on something. The worst fucking normie is the normie that's a cocky, arrogant normie who is more worried about their social views. That normie right there is the one that gets you in trouble. We got to come up with something that's parallel to this.
You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.